In a few days, something impressive is going to happen just when the stars come out. Watch this impressive video from start to finish. God willing, it will bring you many blessings and spiritual and material abundance. Listen carefully. First, we transport ourselves to about 2,000 years ago, in the time when Rome ruled forcefully, by hand, strong and very cruel to the Israeli people in the Israeli land. There were two great luminaries there, among many luminaries, but two great luminaries who were Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai and his son Rabbi Elazar. The fact that they taught Torah in a real and true way, despite Roman interests, this caused the Roman Empire to pursue them to death. If they were found, it meant a death sentence. Therefore, Rabbi Shimon and his son Rabbi Elazar had no choice but to really escape, and the best place they found was a cave. They were in that cave for much longer than a day, a week, or even a month. They were there, no more and no less than 12 years in that cave. And God performed an amazing miracle for them. It's in the Jewish sources that He basically planted a carob tree and a spring of water for them. So, it must be understood that they studied for 12 years while escaping from the cruel Roman Empire. Rabbi Shimon, the son of Yochai, who is called in Hebrew Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai, and his son Rabbi Elazar, they studied the secrets of the Torah and reached spiritual levels that are impossible to express with words. Do you now see the relevance of this to your life today, in this very year, and the coming days meant for your blessing? If God wills, listen carefully. Now, what happened? As I told you before, 12 years of persecution studied there in the 12th year. They came out of the cave, thank God, but the spiritual level was such that when they came out, they saw, for example, people plowing the field. Imagine someone of a spiritual stature that is impossible to detail with our words. He understood and saw how a person could work day and night in a field plowing. Seeing, for example, working behind a bull or a cow, and seeing hours looking at the back of the bull, for example, plowing. And that is the person's life. And that's life. When you ask someone what they do, it's their dedication, and they provide no further explanations. Therefore, Rabbi Shimon and Rabbi Elazar understood that they were burning their soul. People who lived like this had nothing else to do but plow a field, for example, just to give an example. Really, on a spiritual level, it was as if they were burning. That reality people couldn't bear. Obviously, that came from deep love for God's creatures. Seeing people burning their souls, working day and night in something that had no spiritual purpose. Therefore, on a spiritual level, it was as if they were burning that reality. Therefore, a heavenly voice told them to return to the cave and reflect on their view of the world. Basically, they returned to the cave for another year, and during that year, surely, obviously in that immense spiritual place they obviously studied and developed ideas and understood. Let's see what was the real reason why, after having been 12 years in the cave, they had to return for one more year to reflect and continue studying Torah, to really understand God's word and see what they had to give to the world and grant and give that immense value that they gave to the world. In this video, I'll explain something that has to do with you. Therefore, after a year, they went out again, but those eyes were different eyes. They already saw reality with another depth, despite, as we said a year ago, the depth they saw was impressive. But surely, due to such immense spiritual quality, they could not see a little of what they should have seen. What happened in that added year annexed to the previous 2 years? Therefore, they saw an old man. They saw an old man carrying 2 branches of eras, or in Hebrew it is said adasim, 2 branches of eras. And they asked him, "Dear old man, what are you carrying in your hand?" And he said, "I am carrying branches of adasim, branches of adasim. And for what?" He said, "For what? I want to honor the Sabbath on Saturday. As you know, the holy day each week for Jews is Saturday, the Sabbath. And one said to remember the Sabbath, which is said, Zahor et al Sabbath, says in Hebrew. And another to take care of the Sabbath, Shamor et al Sabbath, Zahor v'Shamor. At that moment, I say it with my words, but as a divine inspiration, it surely entered Rabbi Shimon and his son, Rabbi Lazar. And they understood and said, how do Jews love their mitzvot, their precepts? There is not a mitzvah, there is not a precept in the Torah to bring 2 hadassim to the house. But they understood that this elder, for the love of the mitzvot, the divine precepts, was bringing 2 hadassim to his house. And this, which apparently can be something routine, something that is not very important. This changed them. It was a turning point in the perception of reality for Rabbi Shimon and Rabbi Elazar. Now we are going to go a little deeper into what happened, and what is going to happen in the next few days, and what happened at that moment. Basically, what is going to happen in the next few days. Now, I'm going to explain to you in detail at what level it's going to happen, and you're going to understand what's really going to happen. What's going to happen? That is, I'm going to give you the title, and then I'm going to give you, if you want, the video. Deep explanations of what's really going to happen in these few days. First, the 18th day of the month of Iyar in the Jewish calendar is called Jai Iyar. Also, Shai is life, Yudchet is 18. In Gematria, the numerical value of the letters is Jai Iyar, the 18th day of the month of Iyar. It's the day on which Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai gives his soul to the Creator. It's basically the day he dies and what happened before he died. And for that reason, such a special day, he revealed to his students the secrets of the Torah, which is basically as if we said in our words. He revealed the soul of the Torah and therefore the soul of the world to his students, who then became teachers of their students. And so until today, and to eternity, which is what generations and generations have been giving us, an unbroken chain that basically tells us what is the secret of this world, and therefore the secret of your soul. Therefore, this is not something that happened 2,000 years ago, which is when Rabbi Shimon passed away, or with the story I told you about the cave. And all of this is not something that happens today. It explains to our sages that Lag Baomer is the day I am telling you about, which is Lag, as mentioned. The word Gematria is the numerical value of the letters. In Hebrew, Lag is Lamed, Gimel are 2 letters. Lamed is 30, Gimel is 33. The 33rd day of the Omer count between Jewish Passovers, between Pesach and the giving of the Torah on Shavuot. There are 49 steps that we ascend day by day until we reach the 50th day, which is the giving of the Torah, the 33rd day of the Omer, which is the day at the level of the Jewish calendar. The 18th of the month of Iyar is the day that Rashbi HaKadosh, or the Vision Bar Yochai, reveals the soul of the Torah, and therefore the soul of the world to his students and us. Now you may even ask yourself whether you are Jewish or not Jewish, and you say, what is the relevance to me? Listen until the end of the video and tell me in the comments. If you understood that it is relevant to you, I would love to know, and if so, I would like to know why is it relevant to you according to your opinion. Well, we continue. It's a sea that has no bottom, it has no end. But I'm going to try in these minutes to try to tell you some hints, as they say in English, some clues. I'm going to give you some details so you understand this information that I'm going to give you, God willing, which is unprecedented, which is very hard to find in general in the media, and still in Spanish it's very hard to find it, or in whatever language is spoken. What I'm going to tell you is something quite unprecedented. Obviously in the Jewish world, it's something known in certain circles. I'm giving you an eternal gift that, God willing, will bring you many blessings. Well, listen carefully. Well, we're talking about first, Lag Baomer, which is the day that the people of Israel, many people, thousands and thousands of people, ascend Mount Meron. Mount Meron is where it is. The tomb of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, also known as Rashbi HaKadosh, is mentioned. It's a very special place, very holy, very holy, very holy. In Meron, in the north of the land of Israel, it's a very holy place. And Rashbi basically in his teachings obviously explained that the fact also needs to be understood. The day of passing of the great tzaddikim is said in Hebrew, the Ilula. Basically, it's a day in which it's not a sad day, it's the opposite. It's a day in which the tzaddik, the great righteous one, basically when his soul ascends to the higher worlds, it should be known that if that righteous one, how much did it impact this material world when his soul was in a body? It must be understood that when the righteous one ascends to the higher worlds, his soul elevates. His influence study is much greater. And it must be known that also on the day of the Lama man, the day Rashvi died, he not only gave his soul to God. It was the day that God understood that Rashvi's soul had to ascend to the higher worlds, but also Rashvi HaKadosh. Rashvi is the acronym for Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai Rashvi HaKadosh, the great saint Rashvi. As we said, he gave his students the secrets of the Torah, its soul, and the secrets of this world. Therefore, it is a very joyful day in that aspect. Obviously, in that aspect, you have to know that the tzaddik lives, obviously the soul of the tzaddik, of the righteous lives. It says, our sages explain that the tzaddikim, I'm going to translate tzaddikim, bemitatam kruim jaim, the tzaddikim, the great righteous, in their death they are called alive. You have to know that today we study the books, the Zohar HaKadosh, the Book of Splendor, the secrets of the Torah, which I, Rachive HaKadosh. The soul of the tzaddik speaks to us. When we study the great tzaddikim, the books of the tzaddikim, we see the words black on white. Those words have life. The soul of the tzaddik speaks to us today. Obviously, it is the soul of the tzaddik. This is how God manages our world. Obviously, the soul ascended to the higher worlds. But its influence today is even more alive than when it was alive in a body, obviously. Obviously, one has to give their all when the soul is in the body, of course, but one must know that the journey continues. There is life after life, obviously, we know that in Judaism. And therefore, one must understand that on one hand, the righteous are called living, even when they pass away. The tzaddikim in their death are called living. Although it may seem contradictory, they are alive after death, as their soul continues to influence our lives. And the Reyayim, Beshayim, Kruim, Metim, and unfortunately the wicked, when they live in a body, are called dead. Therefore, it is the opposite, someone who is wicked. God forbid, who does not do the will of God, does negative things in the world that God does not allow. He is in a living body, walking in this world. But he is someone dead, alive. That is, his body lives and his soul is dead, extinguished. Therefore, we must understand what is life and what is death according to Judaism, according to the secrets of the Torah. Now, I want to continue telling you a little bit what is relevant for you in this. Listen carefully. Very well. We said that Rashvi teaches the soul of the Torah. When we talk about the soul of the Torah, I'm going to tell you some secrets of the Torah, and you're going to understand how relevant they are to your life. For example, you need to know what the Torah is. The Torah. Surely you know what the Bible is, but the Jewish Bible, obviously the Bible that God gave to the people of Israel, it's something much stronger than a book. You have to understand that the Torah, the essence of the Torah, not the book that God later gave to the people of Israel, but the Torah at the level of essence, like the soul of the Torah. It was before the world's creation. Our sage explains it's a secret few know. That God, before creating the world, saw the Torah and created the world. He looked at the Torah and created the world. What does it mean? Just like an engineer creates a bridge, an architect creates a building. And he has a blueprint, a plan on which, after the plan he builds, that is, he sees the plan and builds. So God saw in the plan of the world, which is the Torah, that he, obviously God, the Almighty Creator, created. He saw the Torah and created the world according to the laws of the Torah. Therefore, when we study Torah, we study the laws of the world, how the world works, how our soul works, what does God want. And from the most literal part, so to speak, the most hidden part, the Torah speaks in many ways. It's like parallel worlds, like quantum physics today can tell that parallel worlds exist. What science somehow confirms today, the spiritual laws that we Jews have known for thousands of years ago, that today is like a great novelty. There are parallel worlds. There is this artificial intelligence, everything that today is a great novelty for Judaism. The spiritual principles have been known for millennia, perhaps expressed differently, but their essence has remained the same for thousands of years. Why? Because the Torah is the manifestation of God in this world. And therefore for example, we are going to go to different moments. First, prior to Genesis, what happened? What happened? You say to yourself, well, how can I know? Genesis is the first book of the Torah, right? I'm going to explain an amazing secret, explains Hasidism. Hasidism are the secrets of the Torah. It's amazing. Before Genesis, is there anything that happened that is not written in the Torah? Let's think together. And I want you to also put your opinions in the comments again. Let's think. God created the world. Very good. In Spanish, Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamay v'taretz translates to God. Created the world. Bereshit bara Elohim. Bereshit is in the beginning. God created the heavens and the earth. Et hashamayim, the heavens and the earth. And the earth. Very well. Now what happened before Bereshit? As I told you before, what happened prior to Bereshit? How can we know? Let's reflect. Let's break it down. What is the Torah of Sod? Of the secrets that it teaches us. What happened? Think and reason. God created this world. What happened before creation? It happened that God wanted to create the world. God's thought of wanting to create the world. Now I'm going to give you a daily example from your life. You want to drink water very well. Someone entered the room and saw you drinking water. If that person reflects and says, if he's drinking water, what does it mean that a second before he wanted to drink water? Did he want to drink water? If he hadn't grabbed it and hadn't drunk it? Therefore, here I give you a very day-to-day example. It can be understood that at the moment God creates the world, He created the world. It means that God wanted to create the world. And here, if we start talking about why God wanted to create the world, we can talk for a very long time. But I don't want to dwell too much here, but above all, I want to focus on a central point, that at the moment God wants something, obviously. God, the Creator, the Almighty, is everything, includes everything, is the origin, and above all, what we know and do not know is the Creator. He has a world of angels, material worlds, spiritual forces, whatever you want. The Creator wanted to create the world that we know, obviously, all the planets, of course, but our earth, which is us who are here, we inhabit. The fact that God created this earth implies that He wanted to create it. The question is, why did He want to create it? And here we see a secret that the great Kabbalists explain to us, which is that God created His world to give it pleasure. Therefore, this can be a before and after in your life. Unfortunately, many people have a completely wrong connection with God. Like there's a joke that's not so much a joke. They ask, is anyone coming? A rabbi tells him that he doesn't believe in God. He doesn't believe in God. He tells him like this, he doesn't believe in God, that he doesn't believe. The rabbi with a smile tells him, well, tell me, in what God do you believe? And the person is a bit perplexed, says, no, I don't believe in God. But well, in the God that you don't believe in, what don't you believe? What don't you believe in? Or what God do you believe in? Otherwise, I ask it, what God is like this or is not like this? The rabbi with a smile said, look at the God you don't believe in. I don't believe either. Don't worry, we are united on this point. Do you want to know in which God I believe? Are you invited? You came to my office for a reason. Do you want to know in which God I do believe? I invite you now to the God you don't believe in. I don't believe either. We are united on that. No problem. If you want to know what I believe in God, that I believe in the God who gave me the Torah, the truth of the Torah, the truth of the world, that loves me and loves you, welcome, welcome. Did it change this person's life? Many people here, unfortunately, have a completely mistaken connection with God. Therefore, here we are going to go to a crucial point of what we are talking about, which is, why did God create this world? Why does He love you? Now, God created this world to give pleasure to His creatures, to give well, to give kindness, to give pleasure, to give pleasure to His creatures. It's impressive. Obviously, to give this pleasure, God wants us to strive, to be partners. And here we go to the second point. I want to talk about Adam and Eve. I'm going to talk about very summarized points because they are on my channel, Spiritual Mentors Television. You're going to see that there are many of what I'm talking about. Here are videos about this. That is, you can really zoom in, that is, go in with the microscope. In much more detail and resolution of things that I'm going to tell you in a very summarized way, you can go to videos on my channel, our channel, and really delve deep. But I'm going to touch on some points to really surely surprise you, and I hope to change your life for the better. Now first, God gives us this possibility of being partners with Him, of His creation. In fact, it is written, God in His Torah says in plural, let's make a man. One of the interpretations, why did He speak in plural? Let's make a man. Because He said to the people, I tell you in my words, He said together, I will make you together. Let's be partners in your correction, and your correction is going to involve the correction of my world. Let's be partners in the correction of my world from your correction at a particular level. But the fact that you become my partner in the creation of correcting my world, you also correct yourself. It's a win-win, as the saying goes. I say this in my own words, as I understand it. That is, God in some way invited man and woman, obviously, to be partakers and partners of His creation and correct His world. And now we're going to Adam and Eve. So, in summary, God, prior to Genesis, had a reason, a will, a why to create the world. And here we see why. He created it to give us pleasure, to make us partners in His creation, to have a place before going to the age of snow. I want to close this point a bit and move on. To have a home in this world, it is said in Hebrew, it will say bataktonim, one will say it is a home in the most inferior world, which is our world. And therefore, at the moment that God, the divine presence, the eginosis in Hebrew, dwells with us, this world transforms into the highest world above the world of all, the angels. Therefore, the lowest world at the potential level is the highest world. You can reach the highest world above all the angels. Why? Because God gives you the possibility and the responsibility to choose life. Ubacharata b'chaim, a Hebrew phrase meaning choose the good or free will. And here we go to Adam and Eve, in a very summarized form, Adam and Eve. Somehow they understood that God, when He tells them not to eat from the tree of knowledge between good and evil, they understood that there was something. Here there was a very big secret. The snake came and wanted in some way, convince Eve to eat from the tree, and really Eve with her vineyards, and in the truth her vineyards, her understanding so deep, she remembered that the snake's words had to do with the words that God told her before sending her to the Garden of Eden. That He basically told her, then my words, you Adam and you Eve, you are going to descend into a world that I want you to correct. You are going to see a world in which there are excellent things. You will see both very good and very negative things. And I want you and your children to correct my world. Choose the good, transform each negative thing into something positive. Do good, transform this world into something. In the world that you will bring down into an excellent one, where only good exists, it is very good. Now, Adam and Eve descended to the Garden of Eden. That is, they descended to a place below being in the world of souls. But when they were in the Garden of Eden, everything was perfect. Eve also remembered when she heard the snakes, she remembered incredible things, that there is a world to correct. And that she understood that in this Garden of Eden, there is only one tree from which it is forbidden to eat. It is the tree of knowledge between good and evil. Here there is evil, there's a potential to do evil, but here everything is perfect. And I remember that we came to correct the world. Obviously, I'm telling you this in my own words as I understand it. And it must be understood that at the moment Eve decides to eat the fruit, they were pristine souls, with no inclination towards evil. Therefore, unfortunately, when at the level of caricature, they see that there's a red apple, that Eve is tempted by an apple. What a delicious apple. Or how delicious is this? What a temptation. We must know that at that moment, Eve had no inclination towards evil. She was a pristine soul with a clean and pure prophecy, a total connection with God. Just like Adam, obviously they had no inclination towards evil, therefore there was no such thing as temptation. Therefore, here we see A very deep secret that explains the secrets of the Torah, that at the moment Eve decided to eat, she decided to volunteer. To descend to a much lower perception of the world, which is the world we know, which is the world after eating, from the tree of knowledge between good and evil. Obviously, Adam also ate, surely you know him. But the version that Hasidism explains of this is very different from how, unfortunately, it is explained in other contexts very wrongly. Obviously, there is a very strong opinion here that they really did not sin, but volunteered to really go down to the lower worlds, which is the world that we know, and correct it and have their children correct it and transform it into an amazing world. But obviously, these thousands of years of processes and tikkunim, as it is said in Hebrew, of corrections, implies again ups, downs, many challenges, which is the world in which we know each other. But you have to know that this was really, according to a great opinion of Judaism, that was really the reason, the will of Eve and obviously of Adam, after really wanting to correct and be partners with God in the correction of this world. And by here I want to stick with this point. Again, if you want to delve deeper, I invite you to go to my channel about videos on Adam and Eve, where I explain it in more detail. Now, another secret that I want to tell you. I want to go now to the tale of the old man. What does Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai give away? All this that I'm telling you, all the secrets of the Torah, it's all thanks to Rabbi Shimon, basically. Rabbi Shimon handed over the Zohar to Kadosh. He and his influences on different generations, that is, there are teachings that arrived in different generations. It wasn't all at once. There are different sages in different generations who began to reveal it. Kabbalah is something very deep. But basically the concept is that all the secrets of the Torah, it's the merit of Rabbi Shimon. Kabbalah is the soul of the Torah, just as there is a Mount Sinai. As we said on day 50 after leaving Egypt, that God gives the Torah to the people of Israel, that day He gives them the Torah. But when Rashvi, the Lag Baomer, in what will happen soon, our sages explain that the heavens will essentially open. Here's a gift for you. You also have an entire day to pray, connect with God, receive the secrets of your soul. That somehow I'm giving you a little bit of clues about what to do these days. On this day, it's basically connecting with your soul, connecting with God, revealing the secrets of the world, the secrets of the soul, praying. The heavens are open, making it a unique day of the year, on which the light of the secrets of the Torah and therefore the secrets of the world descend metaphorically towards us. And the heavens are open. That is, it's a day with a brutal, impressive spiritual potential. Therefore, as we said, there is the day of Mount Sinai, which is the day of the delivery of the Torah to Israel, but there is also the day of the delivery of the soul of the Torah. Could we say that it is the day of Lag Baomer, the 18th day of the month of Iyar, which is the day that Rashbi HaKadosh revealed the secrets of the Torah before passing away? And that it is really the day of this light that the people of Israel make bonfires for the light of the Kabbalah, of the Torah. The Zohar HaKadosh, also known as the Book of Radiance, contains the secrets of the Torah. And there is dancing and singing and psalms are read and everything, obviously with a lot of sanctity and brotherhood. It's an impressive day, with an impressive spiritual force. Now, what I want to stop now, if we're going to talk for a moment about Mount Sinai, it's something that is impressive, that the first commandment hides an impressive secret. And I also want to give you, and the only thing I want to tell you is a moment with the topic of the elder, with the two branches of Hadassim. Listen carefully. God says the following. The first commandment in Hebrew is, He translated it into Spanish. It says, I am God, your God, who brought you out of Egypt, from the land, from Egypt, from the house of slavery. Very well. It should be known that God speaks particularly to each Jew, I am God, your God, who brought you out. Said in form. Specifically, every Jewish man and woman receive basically that bond with God at a personal level, at that moment and every instant. The Torah is a Torah that speaks to us at a personal level. And obviously, general, obviously, and to all of humanity and all nations. We must know that God's bond is personal, and this is something we know with the first commandment. Now, Anohi, Anohi hides an acronym that is in Aramaic, not in Hebrew, in Aramaic, which is the language that was spoken in Babylon. Ananabshik Tavit Feyavit. It's I, my soul, I wrote it and I gave it away. Impressive. God tells us, it's I, my soul. I wrote it and I gave it away. Obviously, how? Through whom? Through what? Through the Torah. That is, it's I, my soul, I wrote it and I gave it away. Therefore, this is impressive. That when we study the Torah, we connect with the Torah, we connect metaphorically, but on a spiritual level with the soul of God. What does the soul of God mean? The Creator and the Almighty? With the secrets of creation, why God created the world, how to be partners with God in His creation, how to make this world a better world. Every good thing you do makes God's world, the Creator and the Almighty, a better place. Therefore, you make room for Him, the Creator, to be near you, to surround you, to bless you, with your family, at your work, wherever you are. Every good thing, wherever you are, at your work, study, family, wherever you are, you make a place for God, a place for God. Now, I want to go talk now about the elder. What's secret? And here we are going to start wrapping up our class. What secret did Rashvi and Rabbi Elazar understand when they came out of the cave? After those 12 years of studying the secrets of the Torah, and understanding in that year that continued, when they saw the old man, what did they understand? Impressive. They saw that something as simple as carrying 2 branches of Hadassim in honor of Shabbat is something totally material and transformed into something totally spiritual. Therefore, the great secret that Rashmi and Ravirachan also teach us here is how from this material world we transform it into a spiritual world with holiness from the most routine and daily activities of our lives. And this is the great secret that in some way I want to start closing the class and give to you. Because if you understand it deeply, your life is going to change. It's going to change for the better. It's going to give you blessings. Impressive, but listen carefully until the end, as it's something both very deep and simple simultaneously. That's how the Torah is, and Judaism is something that is purely deep but simple at the same time. It's a kind of dichotomy. Why? Because the Torah is emet. Emet is truth. The truth has to be simple. There is no such thing as a truth. Complicated, the truth is simple. Just as we Jews say the declaration every day, every morning and night. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Eshad. We say, listen, Yisrael, God is our God. God is one. God is one. I know the Milvado. We say, there is nothing outside of God. One, the number one, the unity. It's the simplest thing there is. In a certain aspect, there is nothing outside of God. God is everything, is the origin of everything, is above everything. There is nothing outside of God. On one hand, it's something very simple to understand, and on the other hand, it's something very deep. In my humble understanding, this is what Rashvi and Rabbi Yerasan teach us great things. When they understood that there is nothing outside of God, there is nothing that escapes what one can do for God. In fact, King Solomon teaches us this phrase. I'm going to translate it. In all your ways, seek God. And this is what we can see. With the story of the old man perhaps was not a millionaire, but who brought to his home, in honor of the Sabbath, 2 leaves of Hadassim, 2 branches of Hadassim, in honor of the Sabbath. Why? Is that how he honored the Sabbath? And that's impressive. Seek God in all your ways. That is only at the moment he brought those Hadassim to his home. He was connected with God, connected with the Sabbath, connected with himself, with his family, with the Israeli people, with all of humanity, in honor of the Sabbath, with the Sabbath. That is, every little thing you do it is said in Hebrew. Netzach, it's eternity, at a potential level. Look at the impressive change. What happened with Rashvi and Rabbi Elazar? When they saw someone, 8, 10, 12 hours, looking at the back of a bull, of a cow, and that was their life. They would ask, how can he burn his soul when he is in this world to make it a better place? And what does he do? He plows the earth and does nothing more than that, hour after hour and year after year. And they couldn't bear that people, obviously, as we said, with the love they had for God's creatures, how could they burn their soul living like that? Now, when they saw, after those 12 years had passed, the next year, they saw the old man with those. That's how they understood me. That with something so simple, material transforms it into something purely spiritual, and that is a secret to us. Impressive the same. Does someone think that being on a computer, on a phone, hour after hour, could be a programmer, could be this, the other? And really, if you ask them and say, why are you like this? Because yes, really, that person is unfortunately burning their soul. But the person who can be a computer programmer or can be making buttons in a factory, sewing a cloth, being a taxi driver, lawyer, economist, actor, whatever, teacher, whatever. But you ask them, why do you do what you do? And they say, because I understand that this is my mission in the world. I understand that I, by sewing a button and making a garment, am clothing people, and I have a lot of talent in that. And that's the way I find to work, bring money to my house, and also contribute and improve God's world. An economist can tell you the same. A programmer can make health programs, economic programs to help the world to... Light is lacking in Africa and other developing regions where there is no electricity or water, according to the speaker. This is my mission in the world. I am excellent in computational programming, and that's how I improve. As God's partner in creation, my mission is to assist my family in this endeavor. Obviously, it's not like one is a robot that's squared in a Seraria in life, of course, but to give you the example of the bull and that person plowing, if the person tells you I plow and this is what I do and doesn't say no, because I'm feeding the world and helping, that's perfect. The concept of using tractors for farming remains the same today. That is, the question is, why do you do what you do? Why do you live the way you live? The question is, can one live a life, as they say in the Verostam Stam? It's because yes, living, because yes, making money, working here, working there, studying, this, for the other thing, for functional matters. For having a bigger house or more walls of stone, stronger, or of a more luxurious element, whatever you want to call it. But if that's the answer, those stones or that wall are going to remain in this world long, much longer, surely after that person passes away. That person who lived to have a strong wall, a beautiful and strong house, because it will indeed outlive them in years in this world, right? The question is anyone perfect? A beautiful house is something we all want, along with a happy life. With material abundance, spiritual abundance. Helping others with the abundance that God gives us to be a clean and pure conduit to help others, that's the idea. It's ideal to receive God's abundance and contribute to others and live happily and fully. Like what we are doing today in the land of Israel, the people of Israel, returning to earth, the prophecies are fulfilled. A strong and joyful people linked to the Torah, linked to life, helping the neighbor, helping the nations, leading delegations to help different countries in difficulties. People come from countries to delegation to study how to be better. Farmers in defense in the army, help to defend against attacks. Economy, startups, and that is in whatever. The people of Israel return to the land, as the prophecies say, to bring redemption. Obviously, God's redemption is brought by the Creator, but basically, if God wants, the Beit HaMikdash, the Holy Temple, is built promptly in our days with blessings and everything, with much sweetness, with much mercy. And that is the big issue at the CLAL level. At the collective level, the people of Israel, the land of Israel, is like the model in which the people of Israel show the world how one can live. Not only at an individual level, but in holiness, at the collective level, as it is written in the Torah. And you shall be to me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation, and you before me. A kingdom of Kohanim and a holy people. Where? In the Holy Land, the land of Israel. That is to look at the world, and that is the great goal. That the people would do on a particular level, on a collective level. The idea is to give light love to the world. That's why God gave us the Torah. Therefore, with much joy, much responsibility, much humility, we have that merit of being light for the nations and teaching the Torah. The secrets that Rabbi Akadosh teaches us to reveal to the world so that we all have a life with purpose. And speaking of this, I remembered that we are going to have a course, God willing, a course with 4 classes. In my beloved community, Israel High, which, in fact, if you have not joined yet, below you have links. You have links to request information. A beautiful, prosperous community in which many people feel alone and says, I want to be connected with Israel, or do you want to ask me questions? There's a WhatsApp. They can ask me, be connected with me, connected with Israel. There are meetings, there are courses, free courses. Like, for example, in a few days, there will be a course that if you are not a member of Israel High, it's paid. It's impressive. What is the course? Basically, it's what we're talking about. It's to apply. It's something very deep and very enriching. It's something unique. It's how to apply. The world of Israeli startups, Israeli innovation linked with concepts of the Kabbalah. The secrets of the Torah for your personal benefit, that is, how to apply these Israeli concepts at the startup level. Today, the Kabbalah, the world, the concepts of the secrets of the Torah. Let's see how you can find the purpose for your life, how you can be a better person, develop, grow at a spiritual and material level, if God wills to. And in the case of those who are part of my community, obviously they don't have to pay. But if someone just wants to sign up for the course, which they can obviously do, they can also go to the link here. That's all the information about the Israel High course, straight from my beautiful community, which aligns with our earlier discussion. It's like in my community, which I obviously invite you to with a lot of love. If you're not yet a member, you're not a member, we are members obviously. If you're not yet a member, I invite you with a lot of love. Essentially, we do good. There are meetings to help families in Israel, help for soldiers' wives or soldiers' sons and daughters, and there are meetings, as we said, and courses. It's impressive, and as I told you, can you write to me on WhatsApp? Impressive, therefore, rounding off this beautiful day with such an incredible and impressive spiritual potential. Lag Baomer comes to tell us the heavens are open. The heavens are open. Take advantage. Take advantage. This day in which from the rise of the stars you can already connect with that light of the secrets of the Torah. The love of God, the Creator for all of us. The love that God and constantly gives to the world, the secrets of the Torah, so that we may live a life with purpose, so that we may fulfill our mission in the world, to make this world a better world. And even someone who works in a factory and whatever, but understands that what they do is on an assembly line that puts a button perhaps, but says, I put this button to make this world a better world. To be a partner with God in creation in whatever you do, in all your ways, seek God, seek how you connect with God, seek how from your particular and collective life you make this world a better world. You do good, serve a glass of water to someone, a nice smile and a good day. In every context you find yourself in, think about how you can give the best of your life, and therefore do what, as we said, Adam and Eve did, which was to volunteer for them and their children, who are us, sons and daughters, who are us. How can we correct God's world and make a home, so that God can dwell among us, dwell in this world, and therefore transform it into the most superior world of all worlds? May we have the merit of every moment of our lives. Let's do God's will with joy and a good heart. May we be linked and connected to the secrets of the Torah, to the secrets that Rabbi Akadosh taught us and teaches us every moment. We must know that every day, every year, every Lag Baomer is like a spiral in time. That point of the Lag Baomer, the 33rd day of the Omer, the 18th of the month of Yar rises. We must understand that God perfects His world. In the process, there are ups and downs, but the world is going to perfection. The Lag Baomer goes up and up every year. It's that energy. It's there. Connect with that energy and tell me in the comments, how did it go that we have a Lag Baomer full of Sudo? Secret breaths, abundance of spiritual matter. To pass the will of God, the Creator and the Almighty with joy, joy of good heart, successes and blessings.